Do you know that 1 in 2 men can have cancer in their lifetime? Do you also know that for women, that's 1 in 3 cases in your lifetime? And do you want to know how insurance can make sure that you can ease from the burden of having cancer or any critical sickness in the future? And how insurance can help protect your finances? Well, if you answered yes to any of these questions, I would like to please invite you to watch until the end because we have a very important topic to talk about today. It's called Navigating Cancer Costs, how insurance can protect your finances and ease the burden in case of sickness. If you don't know me yet, allow me to introduce myself. My name is Wandalyn Tan Kalupig. I am the 2021 #1 most influential Filipina on LinkedIn and 2023 top 15 LinkedIn expert in Dubai. Every week, I go live on LinkedIn because my goal at the Cancer Conversations with Coach Wanda is to share life-saving insights featuring experts from all over the world. We do have experts from insurance, from doctors to coaches, because our goal is to help cancer patients and their families, and of course, raise awareness, create real impact. This is our episode, and let me give a recap of our previous episodes. But before that, I want you to know that we are streaming on 7 live platforms today. We are streaming live on LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. Please go to Caltan Social Media Marketing pages on Facebook and also Caltan Training and Consultancy on Facebook. But we're, of course, live on LinkedIn too. Now, if you want to watch the previous episodes, let me do a recap so you can know what did you miss. Well, our first episode is actually an episode with Dr. 𝐀𝐁𝐒𝐓. She is the first UAE national breast cancer surgeon. Here we spoke about why women over 40 need to have mammogram because breast cancer is the most common but most treatable cancer. So do watch this episode. Go to Linktree Coach Wanda to catch the recording. We have over 280 plus people who registered for that event. Also, another important topic we spoke about in episode 2 is Dr. Romy Paredes, where he shared how can you heal cancer holistically. This is a very important topic because I learned and I saw many experiences where people have cancer, but it's just, progressing over because they're not taking care of the entire healing from emotions to mental wellness. And if you go to wellness.land.org, you can actually check Doc Romy's program on how to heal cancer holistically. So also, another episode that's very important, one of my staff, Rose, she's dealing with taking care of the husband for over 8 years now because of cancer. But in this very emotional, I'll say, life changing episode, we spoke about how can you take care of yourself so you can take care of your family members also. So go to Linktree Coach Wanda to catch the recording. It's titled How to Navigate the Emotional Journey as a Cancer Caregiver. On episode 5, wow. Actually, this is episode 4. We have Coach LJ Lagat. She's a very powerful emotional coach where she explained how every negative emotion makes you sick. And many of the patients and the clients she dealt with who had cancer or any chronic disease had deep pains from their childhood. She explained on this episode why and how our emotions make us sick and how can you make sure to heal yourself from within. So go to, again, Linktree Coach Wanda or go to my LinkedIn profile to watch the recording of this episode, How to Heal Cancer Emotionally. On episode 5, wow, this is one of my favorites too. George Takianis is from Australia. He was diagnosed with cancer at the age of 31. At 39, he also had a brain problem. It's like he was like a vegetable already. But now at 48, George was able to, reverse his life, overcoming cancer, overcoming everything, and now he's living the happiest version of himself. And he actually has programs for cancer survivors and for any person who want to be healthier and happier. So go to Linktree Coach Wanda to watch that episode because this is about conversations of hope, a cancer survivor story. And reach out to George Takianos also to learn how you can have that champion mindset. So whatever you set your mind to, from healing to whatever you want to achieve, you can achieve. Now also on episode 6, This is my guest from Saudi Arabia. We spoke about how TouchPay is transforming healthcare cancer treatment payments because cancer costs about $10,000 to $200,000 a year. But thankfully, there's this TouchPay, a company who's doing it in Jordan for now. But they're like the Tabi. In Dubai, we have Tabi, right? You shop and then you can split the installment. In Jordan, they have something called TouchPay, which is revolutionizing payment so that they can help patients and their families. Now, if you want to partner with Liwa, please to get in touch with him on LinkedIn. And again, go to LinkedIn Coach Wanda to watch the recording of that episode and understand how TouchPay is breaking barriers in terms of payment. On the next episode, we also have, this is again another very interesting episode. I had an interview with one of the famous doctors, right? He's Dr. Kapur. We spoke about the advanced testing and how transforming, BioArrow is transforming cancer diagnosis because there's scan, there's MRI, but there's so much mutation that happens in cancer cells that is only available when you do different kinds of testing. On this very interesting episode, Dr. Kapoor explained so many things, why people get cancer, and what's the best way for you to get healed to precision diagnosis. So please do watch that again. Go to Linky Coach Wanda to get access to the recording. And if you want to be inspired, if you feel like giving up already, I think this episode is a must listen. Janita Green is a certified public accountant like myself. She's based in the US, but she's a two-time cancer survivor. Here she shared how generational trauma, and the many problems and stresses she has at work, led to getting cancer twice, but she also shared tips and tools you can immediately apply how she overcame cancer twice. If you want to find, light through the darkest days of your life, go to my LinkedIn profile or LinkedIn Coach Wanda to access the recording of this episode. And wow, this is another favorite. I think all of my podcasts are my favorites because they're different topics altogether. Dr. Neil, a palliative consultant based in Abu Dhabi, shared how palliative consultant and how palliative doctors is not about for the dying or patients only, but this is about the doctor giving psychological, emotional, and of course the clinical knowledge that they need so they can overcome any sickness. So it was a very interesting topic, what palliative care is about, what it is not, and how palliative care really help patients and their families overcome cancer on a different level. So watch this episode with Dr. Neil. It's about how palliative care enhances the quality of life of cancer patients. Again, go to LinkedIn Coach Wanda for that. Actually, Coach Neil is the most famous so far for our podcast episodes. There are 400 plus people who registered for his event. Generally, we have over 100 to 400 people every week who's actually listening to our podcast. And thank you for those who are supporting us. And episode 10, this is one of our episodes also. Dr. Denki is a doctor based in the Philippines. She's one of the oncologists with 20 plus years experience working with St. Luke's. And what she explained here is that cancer is called the big C for a reason. It's so complex. There's so many reasons why you get sick, but there are also so many reasons for you to get healed also. So watch this episode to know more about how can you find affordable and high quality cancer care in the Philippines. And I would like also, because this month is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, we have partners with Advanced Care Oncology Center. They are giving free breast screening mammogram. In Dubai, breast screening is about 200 to 800 or 1,000 dirhams, but you get it free. So please go to acocdubai.com to book and get this free. Similarly, we have partnered with Prime Medical Center. Prime Medical Center have offers of only 250 or 300 depending on what package you want to get. So you can get yourself screened for breast cancer. So please, this is available to all Prime Health Centers in Dubai. So please do visit one of their clinics too. And as a brand ambassador of Dubai Women's Son. I was one of the Dubai Women of Substance 2023, and one of the things I advocate about is also about wellness. So I would like to invite you also on November 3, 2024, together at Expo City. Let's run. I'm not very good in running. I can take the 3 kilometers and 5 kilometers, but please, please, there's so many things to look forward to on this event. You get a lot of gifts, goodie bags, and you meet a lot of people. This is the largest women only running event in the UAE, and I hope you see us there. And now, you might be saying, why one? Too much information. But I think it's important to discuss the previous episode so you can understand what did you miss. But today, I have two very important guests. They are fellow Filipinos like me, but they're all based in Dubai as well. Let me first read my first guest. Wow. This is Agatha. Agatha is an insurance professional with 8 years of experience in the UAE insurance sector. Currently, she is the unit head of the retail medical department of Insurancemarket.ae. This is the largest insurance platform in the UAE, serving over 150,000 policyholders. Wow. She leads a dedicated team committed to providing comprehensive medical insurance solutions for individuals and families. And with expertise in navigating complex policies, she is passionate about helping clients secure the right coverage tailored to their unique needs, ensuring they are well informed and empowered in their decision making process. So, without further ado, let me bring my guest, Agatha. Agatha, thank you again for coming to our program. Let me unmute you first, okay, Agatha?
Okay.
Thank you again for saying yes to this podcast interview.
Definitely. It's my pleasure to be here today, discussing how insurance policies help with cancer treatments. So, yeah, thank you for having me.
It's an honor. No, Agatha, I think I'm kind of curious first, right? I didn't understand from beginning, but there are different kinds of insurance. And I think when reading your bio, it was mentioned there that you are specializing in retail medical insurance. Can you just give a bit of story, why and what brought you to retail medical insurance?
Okay, actually, 8 years ago, I started my career as well, insurance advisor, but in a different department, handling general insurance. So this would be policies that we issue for companies or for corporates to help, let's say, workmen's compensation policies, which is by law, it's required also. And prior to that, before I moved to Dubai, I've been working as a client manager. So I always wanted to be part of an industry which helped the clients in a time of need. And when I was working in general insurance, health insurance actually is an interest of mine because it's something that our clients always utilize. And I see that as when clients use your policy and clients actually come back to you and ask for assistance to get, let's say, process their claims or approval. And as a salesperson or an advisor, if you're able to do that properly, that basically gives us pride when I see that the goals of the company has been materialized and our promise to our clients are actually delivered. So it's actually why I moved to or how I started doing retail or health insurance for individuals. And personally, for me, like I also have a cancer story background.
Wow.
My mom actually was diagnosed with cancer and in 2004, and unfortunately, she passed away in 2010. During that time, we didn't have any insurance to cover the expenses, and that actually took a toll on definitely the financials of the family. And yeah, that's something that, like moving forward, I want to be able to at least guide people on how they manage their finances when it comes to health insurance as well.
Wow, thank you, Agatha, for sharing that story. I mean, first, I'm sorry to hear about your mom, but I think you know what I love about what you said is that whatever financial or whatever experience you have been through is now like the cornerstone of why you're doing what you're doing, right? Which makes it
Mhm.
even, I mean, more meaningful because I mean, I understand myself. I was so shocked when this medical bills. Wow, I mean, I didn't know that a medicine could cost $10,000 just a
Mhm.
30-day tablet. And I think this is why we're even doing the podcast because we want to raise awareness, we want to give information, which actually brings me to my first question. Because Agatha, I mean, I never really give attention to insurance. I mean, for my case,
Mhm.
in my 20s, I took insurance because my friends were doing it, or a friend wanted to have more money. So I just did something to help. But what really are the other types of insurance? And that will make sure that when you do have critical illness like cancer, it will be covered.
So in the UAE, we do have several insurance covering cancer. We have health insurance, which will cover at least the medication that is required or any treatment required if there has been a diagnosis and a treatment has been, let's say, advised by the doctor. And we also have life insurance and critical illness, but these two types of insurance policy works a different way, wherein um, like policyholders are given a lump sum if they are diagnosed with any critical or any covered conditions. So in that segment or in that product, the member will have like any authority or the authority to utilize the money however they want it. But for health insurance, it's basically for medical treatments. And just to add on that, we have to bear in mind that insurance policies' goals is to protect the policyholder against unforeseen incidents or circumstances. So, if a policy is taken with a condition to be declared, then in terms of health insurance in the UAE, insurance companies are not allowed to decline to provide a cover, but they do have like authority to load or to add any additional premium they deem fit based on the planned treatments for the member.
Mm, understood. Thank you, Agatha, for that clarification. I mean, in the UAE, when I started in 2006 here, I never paid attention with insurance because it's like, why do I even have to buy or care about insurance anymore when I do have a health insurance that the company is providing already? But I think what you explain is how, there are other types of insurance which make sure that, you'll be covered because health insurance is basically for the treatment only. Actually, we have another guest later who will expand more about the other types of insurance. But I think that's the other clarification you want, Agatha, right? Because a lot of people are
Mhm.
confused that wait, I have my company who have my insurance already. Now, do I really need to get additional coverage for myself? Is it really important and why?
In terms of the company insurance, so all all people or everyone who has a valid Dubai visa or even Abu Dhabi visa is required to have a health insurance. So it is mandated by the government. In 2025, all the other Emirates, Sharjah, Fujairah, Ras Al Khaimah will be also required to have an insurance policy whenever when they have a residence visa. So in terms of a company policy, individuals do not have, let's say, a say on what level of coverage the company will give them. So, for
Hmm.
example, by law, there is an enhanced plan or there is a essential benefit plan that the government requires everyone to have. However, if as a person you need to have a more comprehensive policy for company insurance, you don't have. like a choice on that. So taking an insurance policy individually or as a family, when you have, say you your whole family is in the UAE and you want to have them protected against or have a better coverage or have a better facility, then you have an option to get a more comprehensive policy aside from the one that you have in the company.
Oh, that's good to hear because see, I mean, I understand how every company, I mean, in my previous work, I saw how we keep on changing the different insurance, right? And the coverage keeps on changing too. So I think what I learned about here is that it's good that if you do have healthcare insurance from the companies you're working for, that's good. But it's also good to know, what's the coverage or if you want additional coverage for yourself or for your family member, this is something that you need to take care of. Now, I know, Agatha, in the UAE, this is something that's mandated by law. Now, for other countries, like I know in the Philippines, not everybody have this luxury, right? Or I
Mhm.
remember one of my guests, Liwa, he said in Jordan, majority of people have no insurance. Now, a lot of people think that insurance is a cost, right? Not an investment.
Mhm.
Maybe you can give some examples from your client's perspective how insurance really helped them, in one way or another.
So the thing is, I do understand why other people, or a lot actually, a lot of people, they don't see insurance as a benefit. I'd rather say that in terms of health insurance and any other type of insurance except for life, it's not really an investment because investment means that uh, there would be a growth and return of the money with, let's say, with interest. But in terms of health insurance, it's actually a protection for yourself and for your family against unforeseen events or unforeseen circumstances. So let's say for when you buy, let's say, a car insurance or a motor insurance policy, you don't buy a car insurance because you know that you'll get into an accident. Similar
Mm,
with health insurance, you don't buy it because you know that you'll have, let's say, a disease or an illness which will require hospitalization or medicines. Um, in terms of our clients, there would be a lot of clients who would usually have conditions to be declared. And in terms of insurance policy, um, underwriters or the insurance company reviews those information regarding like the medical expenses, what will be the further treatment plan to at least manage those illnesses, and they provide additional loading for that. So if a person is already having, let's say, a chronic condition or a condition which will require long-term treatment, then we wouldn't know whether during that policy period they will have or they will be required to provide or to have, let's say, a more complicated treatment plan. It depends on
mm,
how the body basically, how do you call this? How the body responds to the treatment. So we do have a lot of clients who were able to get back what their money's worth is. Let's say they're able
mm,
to utilize the insurance policy limits to cover their conditions. And let's say you got into an accident, but not a road traffic accident. Let's say you have let's say you slip and you broke a bone. That's something that you
mm,
don't foresee every day. So that gets covered in your insurance policy. So you won't have to pay. Let's say you will be able. You might have to pay a co-insurance for that, but at least the overall cost will not be part of the burden for you. And while insurance policies helps clients or our clients when they actually declare those conditions or during the time that they need it, sometimes also it doesn't work if clients do not declare the conditions beforehand. So
mm,
we do have, let's say, we do have clients who has not declared any symptom that they have or they're feeling prior to the application of the policy, And in those times, if they file a claim or they get approval for treatment related to that condition, it doesn't get covered. So like what I'm basically trying to go to at is when you buy an insurance policy, you have to be able to declare or to be truthful in the conditions or in the information that you provide during the application process for the insurance policy to take. Because sometimes, let's say you've paid this amount of money, but you have not declared the condition that you want to
Mhm.
be covered, insurance company will not cover that. So I guess what we want to do is for everyone to be truthful regarding their applications.
Thank you, Agatha. I think that's a very important point, right? I believe truthfulness and honesty goes hand in hand. I mean, some people
Hmm.
complain, I didn't get covered, or, this didn't work for me. But I think the
Hmm.
question is, were you honest enough, right? To
Hmm.
declare that you
Yes.
have this kind of, there's always a disclaimer in any insurance policy that is there any pre-existing condition?
Mm,
So I
correct.
think you
Yes.
gave a very good advice when you said, yeah, insurance is good to have, but it's also much important, to make sure that you get everything declared so you get the right coverage.
Mhm.
And of course, the claims will be processed too. So thank you,
Yes.
Agatha. We will put you first on the backstage because we have
Mhm.
one more guest to continue this talk about insurance. But before I bring our next guest on stage, I would like to thank Bailiwick Academy for sponsoring this podcast. Bailiwick Academy is the Philippines' first and largest online cooking and baking class with over 200 plus classes. It can help you detoxify whatever stress is in your body, and it can help you, of course, turn your passion for cooking and baking into profit. Also, this is podcast is sponsored by Caltan Social Media Marketing. If you want to have your own LinkedIn podcast, if you want to get seen, get heard, and get clients, please get in touch with Caltan Social Media Marketing. So before I
Mhm.
bring Ralph on stage, let's watch a short video about Bailiwick Academy. Yes, we are back on stage, and let me introduce first my other guest. He's a fellow Filipino based in Dubai, like Agatha, but Ralph is passionate about providing genuine, unbiased financial advice backed by financial analytics that can truly make a difference in your life. Wow. Together, he makes sure you and your loved ones are shielded from and prepared for unexpected bumps along the way because this is what he believes in. A life worth living is a life worth ensuring. Wow, what a quote. So thank you, thank you. Let us bring Ralph on stage. Ralph, thank you for saying yes to this.
Thank you for having me, Coach Wanda. Really, thank you so much.
It's an honor to have you and Agatha. And I think I love that quote where you said, "Oh, a life worth living is a life worth ensuring." And but actually, when I was reviewing your LinkedIn profile, Ralph, I saw that
Mhm.
Ralph, your name is there, and then there's MDRT, and I was like, "What is MDRT?" And I learned it's
Okay,
$1 million. What's the RT?
a
Can
round
you
table.
explain more? Can you explain more? What is this all about? I mean, I just want to understand what's the MDRT thing.
Okay. Well, for the benefit of our listeners and our viewers, the MDRT stands for Million Dollar Roundtable. So it is actually a premier association of financial professional. It's global, and it is recognizing world's leading life insurance and financial service professionals. So it's from more than 700 companies, and it's global. It's all around the globe. It's for more than 80 nations and territories. So for you to qualify, they have specific requirements on the number of policies and the quality of insurance policies you've sold to your clients. So our requirements varies depending on the country. So my requirements in the Middle East is totally different from the requirements of those financial professionals in the Philippines, in Canada, in the US. So for me, it's actually a big recognition because more than an award, it's a validation of how my client trusted me. Because behind this award, or the referrals, the personalized approach that I'm doing with my clients, and my efforts on bridging the gaps on the financial aspect of the financial gaps that they have currently in their life. So basically, um, because of my because of me prioritizing the welfare of my clients and focusing more on how I can add value to their lives, my sales met the requirements and being a part of the MDRT. And luckily, with God's grace, for this year, I'm also running for the 2024 MDRT thing. So it's really basically just the byproduct of me being intentional of ensuring expats here in the Middle East.
Wow, Ralph, I'm looking for a treat, right? Because you
Yeah.
already got that award and then you're qualifying for that. Agatha and I will be more than happy for a cup of coffee with breakfast to celebrate this
it will
recognition.
Yeah, it will be an honor for me to share a cup of coffee with you guys. Agatha is so great, and actually, she made my task today very easy for explaining the in and outs of the insurances.
I think, Ralph, I think, yeah, the good thing about what Agatha said already is about, yeah, you have health insurance, but there's also other kinds of insurance. And, she keeps on saying loading. I mean, to some people, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
initially when people said, you have insurance, but you need loading. I mean, my mind is taking time to load. I mean,
Yeah.
maybe you can
Mm-hmm.
unpack. I mean, there's sometimes some terminology specific to insurance that people
Mm-hmm.
need to
Yeah.
understand that, yeah, you might have already health insurance, you might have life insurance, but there's some additional things that you need to do to ensure coverage, and that is covered by loading. Now, you're the best person to explain to me
Uh-huh.
and to our listeners what loading means.
Loading is actually the additional cost that the underwriter are adding on their premium secondary to their pre-existing conditions. That's actually the main reason why we're encouraging our clients to get their self-insured while they are young and healthy when they don't have any pre-existing conditions like hypertension or diabetes, because this increases the risk for the life insurers as well. And for them to balance the risk, they have this loading or additional premium or percentage that they're adding in order for them to be qualified for the coverage. So that's something that will be an additional cost from the client's end if they have pre-existing conditions.
That's a very simple explanation. I like that. So
Yeah,
basically, it's something on top of the insurance to make sure that it's covered, right? That's
that's
what
right.
loading is. Now, Ralph,
Yeah.
maybe you can give some examples because, as MDRT, I mean, I know you've dealt with many patients already. I just want to
Mm-hmm.
understand in terms of what are the problems that cancer patients or any person with chronic illness, are facing, and how insurance is really helpful. Maybe you can give a few examples based on your, personal experience.
Well, when you are diagnosed with cancer, absence of this kind of critical illness coverage or life insurance or medical insurance can lead to different kind of financial stress. So this kind of challenges can aggravate the client's or the cancer patient situations or condition. So things like people in the UAE when they are having this kind of events, life events, I call this life events, having the diagnosis of cancer, they're going to OWA or other government offices to ask for help. Their loved ones are doing crowdfunding and social media, and some of them they have limitation on the access of premium quality cancer treatments. Some of them are liquidating their assets, their properties, and using their lifelong savings. So these kind of challenges are adding so much stress on cancer patients, giving them lesser chances of recovering from
Hmm.
the sickness. So in order for us not to have this kind of challenges, risk management should be in place in order for them to be well prepared and for them to navigate life according to their will after being diagnosed with cancer, and that will really increase the possibility of them recovering from the illness.
I think I agree with you, Ralph. And I think Agatha also
Mm-hmm.
mentioned with her journey how it's so stressful, right? I mean, when
Yeah.
you get the big C, when the doctors give you that diagnosis and then they will give you the treatment plan, you look at the cost and you're
Mm-hmm.
like, well, I can buy one property
Exactly.
with this
That's right.
value
That's right.
already, right? So it's so
Mm-hmm. That's right.
scary. And I think I agree with you how when you're stressed, then you cannot even focus on the healing, right? And that's critical
Mm-hmm. That's
also.
right.
And I think, Ralph,
Mm-hmm.
while trying to understand more about this insurance, because, when I was working, I mean, I understood the value of insurance for myself, but it was never
Mm-hmm.
explained to me how you as a child need to get insurance for your parents too, because they're gonna grow old someday, right? And
That's
based
right.
on my previous episode interviews with the many doctors already, they keep on explaining
Mm-hmm.
why many people who are old their age already are getting sick because the body is starting to becoming frail, and then the sickness is started to come out. Now, if
That's right.
only I was like, if in my 20s, if somebody could have told me that, Wanda, you need insurance, but more than
Mm-hmm.
yourself, why not get for your parents to make sure? And I think it's good if you can explain. I know we had a conversation already where you said, if you take this kind of insurance, you're gonna pay until you're alive. Right? And I was like,
Mm-hmm.
why? And then there's another type of insurance where you can just pay for a few years and then relax already. Can you explain a little bit about that?
Yeah, of course. We have different kinds of life insurance, and both this types of insurances includes critical illness that gives coverage for cancer, heart attack, different kinds of other life-threatening diseases. Now we have term plan, which you will be paying for a specific period of time. It's a very practical approach of providing or giving yourself a safety net because you will just be paying for as long as you're paying your coverage, and it will give
Mm,
you an opportunity to have a a very good coverage for yourself. I mean, life insurance and critical illness, sum assured wise. The other type of policy is in the Philippines we call it BUL. Here we call it ULIP or unit link insurance policies, wherein the client will just be paying for a specific period of time, and because the fund value linked on the investment component of this policy, it will be able to sustain the uh, the coverage until 99 years old. We call it whole of life type of policy and coverages.
wow, that's good because I also am happily one of the insurance I
Mm-hmm,
invested in the Philippines was like I never really put money after so many years, but when I check with the
mm-hmm,
agents, it's like yeah, your policy is still active because you have this kind of insurance that is tied to an investment. What is that insurance called
mm.
again? VUL in the Philippines. What is it called in Dubai?
Yeah, it's ULIP, unit link investment plan.
That's very good, and I think that's the thing that is most important to get because when you were discussing to me about Wanda, if you get life insurance until you're 75, you're gonna pay. And it's like, oh, I don't wanna
Yeah,
pay. So I think that's a smart way, pay that amount while you still have the money and the capacity to pay, and then pay it for a certain period of time. So
that's right.
thank you for that, Ralph. Now, let me bring both you and Agatha on stage because I want
Sure.
to ask a few more questions together with Agatha. Agatha, welcome back. You can unmute your microphone now.
Yes, thank you, Coach Randa.
Now, Agatha, I just want to, maybe you can give some advice. I mean, from your own personal journey, right? I mean, with your mom's condition, what's your best advice both let's talk about first to people who have insurance but are not sure about what is it about or what's the coverage.
Like for me, the best advice I can give, since insurance anyway is mandatory in the UAE for residency. Um, What I guess the residents or the clients need to be aware of is the continuity of the cover that they have. So if they renew it on time, there would be a continuity in the cover. So any conditions which were covered in the previous policy period will be covered up to the next. So right now, what happens is since visa renewal in the UAE would be 2 years, our validity is 2 years. We
Hmm.
have 5 years for golden visa and even 10 years. So what we've noticed is um like clients tend to forget to renew their renewals policy on time
Mm,
or to pass the renewal on time, which basically affects how they get the coverage once they actually need it. So
mm,
it's important that you do it right away and to make sure that if you're paying money for it anyway, why not delay it? So why not renew it as early so you can ensure that your protection or insurance cover will always be valid and you'll be always covered in the time of need. And at the same time also, in terms of coverage, clients should always at least look into the type of the coverage that they have rather than only focusing on the premium or what they
hmm.
have or the price that they have to pay for the policy. Because at the end of the day, when you pay more or when the value of the product is high, that means that there are add-on or higher benefits that is the reason why those premiums are higher. So there's a lot of policies which has, let's say, an annual health checkup, which will help you manage your condition every year. So an annual health checkup would basically like reduce the risk of you developing a sickness and you not going to the doctor or facility to know or to get it diagnosed. So that's something that we have in most of the insurance policies. It's not available for everyone or for all the policies, but at least make sure that the insurance policy that you have, you know the coverage and you know the additional benefits that you can like squeeze into it and use like a third party or for like a broker who will help you further understand that. Because if you just go check one insurance policy or one insurance quotation, let's say, you won't be able to it would be difficult for you to compare the
Hmm.
options around the market. And there's a lot of insurance policies in the market right now. And definitely someone who is not used to reading an insurance policy will not be able to understand that. So yeah, my suggestion is renew on time. Make sure that you review your coverage and go to a trusted advisor.
Wow, those are golden nuggets of wisdom, right? Renew on time,
Mm-hmm,
make sure you get the right coverage, and of course, you get the right advice from the right people. Thank you for that, Agatha.
mm-hmm,
Now, Ralph, we are here in the UAE right now, so somehow we're
Yeah.
like protected by law, right, in terms of insurance. Now, what's your advice to expatriates or Filipinos or any person to make sure that they are protected? I mean, we are here in the UAE now, but you could be in your home country or in another country. But what's the best advice to make sure that as you said in the beginning, when the bump is there, right? In any event of your life, you are covered and protected.
Okay. So I have advices first to those policyholders, those who have their life insurance in place, because life insurance is different from the medical insurance, especially here in the Middle East. Medical insurance is being paid and provided by the companies, while life insurance they are personally purchased. So my advice is like Agatha, you need to make your or to keep your policy active. Pay premium on time because it needs to come handy whenever the uncertainties arise. That's what I mentioned a while ago. And then of course, you need to always coordinate and talk to your financial advisor, especially during the times of life events like marriage, having dependents, having kids, because your requirement will increase depending on the life events or life situation that you're currently in. So you don't want to be over insured, and you also don't want to be underinsured at the same time. So that's my advice. Just keep paying your premium, and make sure that it's on top of your priority, your risk management. Now, for those who doesn't have any insurance yet, or life insurance in place, I will advise them to reevaluate their financial goals, because we have this hierarchy of financial stability. And on the base of that hierarchy is really risk management and income protection. That includes medical insurance, life insurance, critical illness, disability, mortgage insurance if you have properties. So this kind of risk management will really help you to protect your lifelong savings, your assets, and let's say, for example, you have properties in your home country. This will really act as the first line of protection for you before you jump into the second level, which is wealth accumulation, on the third level, which is financial growth, and lastly, we have this legacy planning that we're talking about for the next generation. The major problem or major mistakes that expats here are currently doing is that they're jumping on second level, on third level, and fourth level without even, stabilizing or making sure that their risk management, or the base of their financial goals are well established. So having life insurance and medical insurance is very simple nowadays. It's not that complex. Terms are simplified. Companies are very customer friendly. And as what as Agatha mentioned, there are a lot of different types of insurances that will suit your need. It is something that you need to give to yourself, because at the end of the day, no one will really take care of your requirement. It's your self responsibility.
Thank you for those important points, Raf. You know what I love about what you said, risk management. I often hear risk management only from companies, right? From corporates. I mean, when you do audit, you do risk management, right? But I
Yeah,
think
yeah,
what you highlighted here today, which is very important, is you need to have your own personal risk management. Because I
yeah,
agree, I mean, teaches about finances, right? I mean, we focus on legacy or wealth accumulation already, investing in properties, investing in bonds or stocks or whatever, even thinking of, what you're going to give to the future generation. But you forget that there's a foundation of risk management that needs to be managed. And that is through the kind of life or health insurance that you need to take care of. So thank you, thank you. Now, Agatha, I know there are, Insurancemarket.ae is the biggest with 150,000 policyholders already. But I would like to give you the stage to invite people if they want to get in touch with you or with Insurancemarket.ae. What's the best way to do that?
So you can get in touch with us through our website, insurancemarket.ae. So we have a very easy to use website, whether you need health insurance, motor insurance, car insurance, or even corporate insurance. So that's the best way, or you can call 800 Alfred.
Oh, I love Alfred. you know,
yeah.
thank you for that, Agatha. Now, Ralph, I know you are into, what I like about what you said here. It's not about insurance, right? It's about the financial concept of why you have to do what you're doing. So, and I think maybe your MDRT title is related to, you don't just sell insurance, you literally give them an understanding of risk management, of what are the ways to get yourself covered and protected, and what are the best ways for you to accumulate wealth too. Now, if people want to work with you so we can have the coffee for the MDRT for 2025 and years to come, how how can they do that?
Yeah, well, thank you so much, Coach Wanda, and nice meeting you, Agatha. It's a pleasure to have you today, and I just really wanted to tell the viewers or the listeners that they can connect with me through my LinkedIn account. It's Ralph Anthony Rico Blanca. That's my name, and all the conversation about life insurance will be dealt accordingly. Because what I'm doing with my client, it is like a kind of personalized approach. I do a fact finding. I identify their financial goals. where exactly do they want to retire sometimes, what is the kind of lifestyle they want during their retirement, or how much coverage do they want to get from the insurance policy. So it's a different kind of approach nowadays, because I believe before, people are just used of getting quotations from different companies. But right now, what I'm doing is it's personalized. My assessment with my client is different from each other, and then I am providing a tailored fit solution to their requirements. So let's start with a simple conversation, because you don't know that that simple conversation can really provide generational wealth, or can really transform the family conditions when these things arise. So let's not underestimate having small conversation over a cup of coffee. It will goes a long way. So I will be there. I will make things simple, and I will make things really, really advantageous on the end of the client. So yeah.
Thank you, Ralph. I love that generational wealth. This is something I want to give to my children and my children's children. Now,
That's
for
right.
those who
Agree.
are watching us live or on replay, this is about navigating cancer costs, how insurance can help protect your finances and ease the burden in case of critical illness or cancer. Now, Agatha, any last words before we go?
Yeah, I think I just want to thank you, Coach Wanda, for giving us this platform to talk about let's say insurance, and how insurance actually is not like a cost, or people should not take insurance as an expense, or only as an expense, but also a product who can, or who will be which will be beneficial to them in the time of need. So thank you so much, and yeah, nice meeting you, Ralph.
Nice
Thank
meeting you,
you, Ada.
Agatha.
I learned that the hard way, I mean, that's why I was like, I
Mm-hmm.
never understood insurance until I met both of you. But I think this is the same message that I want to say to people. Insurance is not a cost, it's not an expense, but this is something that will really give you comfort, and confidence
Mm-hmm.
in times of, I hope not, but when it happens, then it will help you become prepared. So thank you, thank you. Ralph, any last words?
Since this is a cancer awareness month, I just want to encourage everyone, especially women, because our claims department is telling us that 80% of our claims from women are cancer related, be it cervical, be it ovarian, or be it breast cancer. So I don't want um, those ladies and independent women in the UAE to just walk around Dubai without having coverage, because it's very risky. This is numbers and percentages that we can't ignore. So there's no best time to have your policy in place. It's really now. For men, I also encourage, because it's not only women who have this complex requirement when it comes to cancer. We really need to act, because most of us are breadwinners, most of us have dependents, and we cannot really like overlook this kind of risk management. And thank you, Coach Wanda and Agatha. This has been a very fruitful, informative, and
Yes.
purposeful discussion that we had. Thank you so much.
Thank you again, Ralph and Agatha. It's an honor to have you. This is why I am very passionate about having expert insurance guests on the podcast, because if people only explain to me in my 20s, like, Wanda, this is why insurance is critical. Don't get it just because you want to help a friend. Don't get it just because it's something nice to do, but do it because this is something that can help ease the burden, when things happen without this negative events in your life, or this is something that could give you peace of mind. And the great thing about that, there's so many options now, like you both said, there's medical insurance, but getting additional coverage can definitely help. Having that life insurance, with the investment, can help you make sure that at the end of the day, you are healthy, protected, and of course, with peace of mind. Thank you again. I would like to thank every person who's watching us live or on replay. This is the Cancer Conversations with Coach Wanda. Every week, I go live on LinkedIn with guests from different countries, different areas of expertise, because our goal is to share life saving insights. If you want to partner with us on the podcast, please message me or my team at Kaltan Social Media Marketing. And again, I would like to invite you for the breast cancer free screening with Advanced Care Oncology Center. Please book your to get it free, right? And of course, if you are not willing to travel to Al Farjan here in Dubai, there is many other options for you, and that is the Prime Medical Center, offering only as low as 250 to 300 for you to get yourself checked for breast cancer. And to be healthier, I would like to see you on November 3 as one of the brand ambassadors for the Dubai Women's Run. Join me on the largest women's only running event in the UAE. Thank you to my team. We are streaming live on 7 platforms today. So, and thank you for my guests, Agatha and Ralph, for our previous guests, and for every person who's a part of this podcast episode. Thank you, and see you next week. If you do need help to get seen, get heard, get clients on LinkedIn, get in touch with me or my team at Kaltan Social Media Marketing. God bless you.